Federal court documents allege a former Sullivan County Corrections officer talked about sex acts with a child while trying to meet up to have inappropriate relations with another child online. Homeland Security said undercover agents talked with former corrections officer John Allen Biggins on a dark net website. The court documents allege he described previous incidents with a child and made plans to travel and have sex with a fictional child described by undercover officers. He was arrested after arriving in Hendersonville, North Carolina. A Sullivan County Sheriff's Office spokesperson said he was immediately fired when the department learned of his arrest.
So look, my partner, she doesn't really get too much involved with the YouTube stuff. You know, she's busy herself. And, you know, I think that because she knows of the nature of what we discuss here and because of what she does for a living, you know, this is not something that she wants to get involved in and have to watch and look at and hear what happens. But she's kind of said, what cases are you working on? What new ones are up? And I said it's not a new one. It's the same primary two, which is Michael Vaughan and Summer Wells. And she said, Summer Wells, you're still talking about this case. It's not been brought to a close. No, it's not. And I thought to myself, you know, you kind of have these thoughts and you think, what is going to happen in this case? What truly is going to happen? Obviously, we've just seen that a law enforcement officer has been part of a sting. They've caught him on the dark web, reaching out to an account that was under the control of Homeland Security. And subsequently, he's been arrested for, you know, he was basically going to go and meet a child. But this is what you've got around this area. You know, we talk about police corruption and the fact that, you know, that we've contemplated that it could exist. You know, it could. You know, people taking backhanders, people being involved in this stuff. Summer Wells went missing from an area that has a drug problem. It has a trafficking problem. There are trafficking syndicates nearby. There was 50 odd registered sex offenders around the area. She has a grandma who's got a missing daughter. She has neighbours like the Brits who have missing children in their family. We've got Jodie Sue Brown that is a stone throw away who has previously been connected to the KKK. She has spoken of her now ex-partner Andy Bernard as if he is some kind of Satanist who could be involved in supplying narcotics for the illicit use on children. We've got more people coming out of the woodwork than you would if someone was offering, I don't know, free food to hungry people. And it's lunacy. And I just think this case has gone way, way beyond the realms of normality. It's spiralled out of control. Completely out of control. We've got the likes of Melina, who it took ages for her to come out, but her daughter was supposedly the best friend of Summer Wells. She's currently living in a house that has been condemned by CPS. You've got Ronnie Lawson's daughter who is around that house. You've got, what else have you got? You've got the mother, Candace, who's gone AWOL. You've got the father who's currently incarcerated and potentially facing additional charges of a sexual nature. It's dating back 40 years ago. We've got an ex-law enforcement officer who's now got a YouTube channel with 100,000 subscribers plus, who's got a personal vendetta against the father. We've got people in her family who never even knew she existed that have built YouTube channels on the back end of her story. And I just don't get it. I don't understand. And we still don't know what is going on. We still don't know where Summer went. We've had law enforcement who have tried to insinuate that it could potentially be a bear. We've got neighbours who Some say she used to wander off all the time. We've had some people who have turned around and said she wouldn't wander off ever, including the parents saying that. But then you've got people saying that she... Some people who said that she wandered off are now dead. We've got other people who was involved who have had a heart attack themselves and died. We've got some people like Dudley saying that other people could have potentially been in the area who are now dead because of what he heard Don say. You've got Don, who was apparently, and this is obviously Summer's father, who was breaking down and severely emotional, bless me, the day before Summer went missing. Apparently there was a party 2 days prior to when she went missing that everybody seems to have a problem with discussing about, and I didn't even get invited. This story, this little girl's story, is out and out lunacy. We've got stories of the mum who could have potentially been having relationships with the teenage son of someone who we can't work out whether they were friends or not. According to the dad, they were friends. According to other people, they weren't friends, they were enemies. So she was hanging about with a 14-year-old boy who is the son of someone who she actually despises, but then they let them hang about together, who apparently... The day after Summer went missing, they had a complete meltdown. The night before, they didn't sleep very well. They had issues sleeping, but that wasn't really looked into. We don't really know a lot about that. And what else is there? Where do we start? But the harsh reality of this case is that we're over a year down the track, and with each and every day that comes out, there is more and more and more lunacy. We've got letters that are about to come out any day now, where the father, he might have written these, I think he wrote the letters, I think he did. But he can't even write a letter without it being considered that it's some massive conspiracy. That's where we're at currently. And look, he might not have written it. He might have got somebody else to do it, dictated it, he dictated it, someone else wrote it, who knows, But the point is, who cares? What does it really matter? What does it really matter? We're creating videos that are analysing the handwriting of Don Wells, who's been incarcerated for months, and he's not come out of anything. Nothing's been said. Nothing's been said by anybody. And anybody who actually knows the guy from before has actually said he doted on Summer. Nobody has actually come forward with any credible evidence to say that he SA'd her, but apparently he's now a monster who was SAing Summer. And you can see it. You can see it in the photos, apparently. You can see it. But then if you put a photo of Summer up against a photo of Michael Vaughan, they look the same. There's no real difference. 5-year-old children, active, outside kids, and they look the same. But if you was to say that Michael Vaughan was being SA'd, you'd likely get hung by a tree and set fire to. Because heaven forbid anybody who says anything bad about Brandy. But there we go. That's what we've got. This case is just an absolute carnival. An absolute carnival. What are we going to see next? What are we going to see next? I haven't even started on the social media manager yet. The social media manager, who's obviously managing these letters, who is now sending information to the Sun newspaper in the UK. I know he is because a friend of mine works for the Sun. They sent me an email to let me know that Tim was sending them stuff. I queried it with Tim, and Tim did indeed confirm that he's sent that, he's working with the Sun. Now, this newspaper is not a credible newspaper. Anybody in the UK, guys, if you're familiar with it, like the comments up, tell people what the Sun is kind of renowned for, how it's seen, but it's not something that we would consider in this country as a credible tabloid reference. This is a joke at best, and this is who's going to be being sent by the media manager information over the Summer Wells case. these letters so they can put them up and whatever next. I truly hope that there is some conclusion to this. I truly, truly do. But the more the days roll on, the more I just think that we're just getting further and further from what this case is about. The fact that there is a little girl, she's missing, who knows where, who knows what happened, and we've just got a complete bunch of idiots surrounding her, and that is both law enforcement and those that live round her. But there we go. That's me. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll catch you all later when we look at the harsh reality of the Michael Vaughan case.